He is our guy, Brian Orakpo. Rack, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you boys doing? I'm doing really good.
We're
Hard,
excited to have you on, man.
hard. You wouldn't know this with all the awards that he won. Um, Brian came to my charity event, people always judge me by this dumbbell that I lifted. That was, they said it was like Thor's hammer, and I've seen hundreds of strong men not be able to lift this dumbbell off the ground. Brian was able to pick up my dumbbell off the ground.
Oh,
I do remember that. That was a fun night. I do remember that. I got a little left in the tank, not too much, but I got a little bit.
hey, thanks for hanging out with me on Saturday. We had a good time over at HEB, brought to you by the folks over at Brown Distributing. And it was kind of funny. I was listening to some of the people talk to you about your career and what they remember about you on the 40 acres. But obviously winning a national championship and being able to be recognized for your talent by all those awards. The one thing that you kept talking about was like the brotherhood with the people that were there and how you got to that point. And this is something that a lot of folks are looking at this Texas football team for this season and trying to see if they have that same thing. But talk about that brotherhood that you have with all those players there, but then also what you see from this team.
Yeah, that's what it's all about when you're trying to build a team. You know, we had our era, we had a ton of talent, a ton of people from all different backgrounds, and then we come together. It's very cliche to say, but it's the truth, man. It's like almost like a Remember the Titans type of atmosphere when it comes to building a dynasty, and that's kind of what we had. You know, we had so many great players, man, and obviously a lot of us went on to continue to play football in the National Football League, and that's kind of what I see with this squad. As you've seen with that, we were that close the past 2 years, you know, losing in the semis, but then, you know, it's you can't dwell on the losses. You kind of look in the future, look for the future, because a lot of guys, as what we've been seeing, a lot of guys get drafted because of their talents. So you'll lose 8 to 12 guys per year, but then you just got to reload the clip. And that's what these guys have been doing. And I'm extremely excited about what this particular Longhorn team is getting ready to accomplish. I'm not too happy about the number 1 seed. That's just me personally. I like playing that underdog role. I've always liked that. But there's nothing wrong with it as far as the guys just got to take care of business.
So the one thing that I wanted to ask you about too is, you know, they got that savage over there named Colin Simmons, and you start to look at his development. And this was a guy that was very confident when he got in. He just wanted to get on the field a little bit more. He talked about now he's getting a lot more burn. He's expected to get a lot more burn. But his first step off that edge is something that you either got it or you don't, and then you get a chance to develop it and push it to the next level. Yeah. And I think he's one of those guys. When you look at him, do you see a little bit of yourself?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot of people always, you know, when they ask me questions and things of that nature, I do these speaking engagements, you know, they say that Colin has a lot of you know, what we've seen with you. And I was like, yeah, because it's something you just can't teach. You know, you either got it or you don't. It's that quick twitch that great edge rushers have, man. And you can have as many amount of training as you can, but at the end of the day, you got to be born with it. And he's a guy that was born with it. You know, he's a guy, he's an edge setter. It's a guy that can affect the play each and every time. It's a guy that can, it's not just about the sacks, man. It's really about, like I said, affecting the play, affecting what the other offense is doing. And that's what that guy can do. And, you know, he came out the gate as a true freshman and really made a name for himself, wreaked havoc. And I want to continue to see his career grow and be one of the best edge rushers at this university, and he can go on after they win championships. Obviously, we got high expectations.
Brian, have you been able to get your hand on him?
I have not. All I have was conversations. We've had a lot of conversations throughout. Even when he's playing, we'll have conversations throughout at the stadiums, throughout practices. But I haven't been able to really work with him. Hopefully, maybe one of these summers we'll get together. But no.
Brian, you had two moves that they really really apply now in the NFL style of game, and I think that college is adopting some of those moves that you did, that one arm stab that you used to do, and
Yeah.
that two hand swipe. I don't know if I've seen Colin Simmons do the two hand swipe, but I've seen him do the stab. Like, man, I'd love to see you get over there and teach him one of them, teach him that bonus move.
Yeah, for sure. But it's all in due time. You know, it all comes, you know, with more experience and more repetition. You know, it's something you want as you keep getting older and more experience and more reps and more seasons go. You add stuff to your repertoire, but you never want to take away from your base and what you like to do. You know, I was a speed to power guy, and then I incorporated the swipe, the stab, the jab step inside out. So it's a lot of things you start adding to your repertoire as you keep going.
We're talking to Brian Orakpo, lifetime Longhorn and one of the coolest brothers out there. Every time I start talking, I realize my voice is not as deep as yours. And I'm like, man, the deep voice. I'm like, doggone, bro. Can't have all this bass up in here.
James Earl Jones.
I know. Hey, it's natural, man. I've been this way since 3 years old, man. I thought it was gonna change. I've been this way for a long time.
I need some milk.
Exactly.
Brian, heading into this weekend, obviously the hype, as you talked about, being ranked number one. Yeah. But you were in Columbus, weren't you? That first time they went up there and made some things that have just that's when the run started. That's when you knew that you were going to have a chance to go play for a national championship. If you could give these players one bit of advice of going on into Columbus, what would that advice be?
Man, this is going to be funny, but my biggest advice is turn off the TVs and get off social media. I mean, honestly, that's kind of it's going to be so much expectations and so much he say, she say stuff. And, you know, can they do this? Can they do that? So my thing is trust the process, trust the game plan. Y'all been working extremely hard all camp, all week preparation. Turn off all the extra distractions. And then once you go out to Columbus, it's a huge game, but let's treat it like another game. You know, let's treat it like we've been at the top before. Let's go out there and do our thing. And obviously we want our horns to take care of business, but if they got our number that week, then they got our number. But at least we can go in there with the right mentality that we gave it our all, and we see what happens. But my biggest take, which what we did in our past, was we turned off all distractions, and we weren't worrying about predictions and things of that nature. We went out there and took care of business.
Mark, you got something?
Well, the only thing I got is right now is as this team mirrors, I think talent-wise, you know, you got the big athletic quarterback, you got the versatility and power at running back, you got a defense that is swarming and has got guys that can get off the edge, and they got good, smart guys in the secondary. Like, do you think that this team kind of mirrors what y'all did?
Yeah, for sure. And that's that's giving them a lot of preseason praise. They got to go out there and perform and execute. But on paper, this team is very, very talented. Very talented, man. Man, we got Colin Baxter's back, which CJ Baxter. I'm extremely excited about him. I think it's not a lot of talk. Well, it is, but I think he was a guy that I'm really, really excited to help out Arch because. You know, it's gonna be times where Arch is, it's gonna, who knows what can happen. It's gonna be a lot of sudden change. Arch ain't gonna be perfect the whole season or the whole game. So we're gonna rely on CJ, the defense, everybody to play their part to where we can give the guys more opportunities to go score the ball. Because that's how a football game happens. Not everything's gonna be perfect, but as far as the comparisons, this team has it all just like we did, and they can really, really. Finish at the finish line this year.
Well, we're going to be waiting for them to finish at that finish line, but it all starts at 11 o'clock in Columbus. You've been there. You know what it's like to be in the shoe, but most importantly, you know what it's like to be a champion, and we're hopeful that this Texas football team this season will be able to handle their business on this road to the promised land, as we like to say right there. As always, man, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you, Rack.
No problem,
and good luck with your son in football this weekend. And you kick the season off, man. It's time to go.
Yeah. My son is getting ready for his journey, his high school journey. So we pretty excited. I got my little golf clothes on now. Get a little.
Hey, hit the fairways, baby. Hit the fairways, baby. Hey, thanks, Rack. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, fellas.